This is Nemesis Amp. He is a character included in the Amp mod, created by Neon Rain. He is a high damage spellcaster that increases his damage output the more he casts, thanks to his passive, Gathering Storm. This passive is fairly straightforward. You gain ramping damage as you spell weave, up to 100% total increased damage. His passive also affects some of his abilities, namely his primary skills. Fulmination, his default primary skill, is an arc of lightning that has limited range. You can think of it as something similar to the legendary Tesla item. This range is indicated by the purple circle. Once his passive is stacked, the skill is able to jump to additional enemies. His alternate primary skill, Lawrence Blades, is single target and does not require a lock. Upon firing on an enemy within range, it will automatically track them. With his passive stacked, the skill doubles the number of blades fired from 3 to 6. His secondary skill, Furious Spark, is a moderate to high damage ability that is capable of piercing multiple enemies. The more enemies it pierces, the more damage it deals. It can be quickly cast in a pinch, and, thanks to its decent base damage, can take out lesser enemies easily. Alternatively, it can be charged by holding down its respective button, greatly increasing its damage. This skill can also be used to cancel all vertical momentum, allowing you to float in midair and prevent fall damage. This isn't mentioned in the menu, but it seems it can also temporarily stun lesser enemies, like Lemurians and beetles. His utility skill, Static Field, is capable of buffing players while debuffing enemies. Players receive additional attack speed while standing in this braided zone. While enemies are slowed and take additional damage. The zone also comes with its own damage over time, dealing 200% of your base damage to enemies per tick for its duration. His alternate utility skill, Void Surge, is a form of mobility. It functions as a dash and renders you unable to be hit. It also grants you a stronger primary attack that is capable of stunning non-boss enemies. Finally, his special skill, Voltaic Onslaught, is a low to massive damage AoE skill that scales with the number of controlled charge stacks per enemy. Its range is also indicated by the purple circle. There are 3 things worth noting about this skill. The first is that it can stun many non-boss enemies. Unlike Furious Spark, this also affects larger enemies like golems and greater wisps. The second is that this skill can force flying enemies to the ground, with smaller enemies being pushed harder. The third is that the damage is calculated by the stacks per individual enemy. High damage on one does not mean high damage on another. Alright, that's the rundown of this character. If you found this helpful, please leave a like to let me know. If you didn't, please leave a dislike and a comment letting me know what I could improve on in the future. Thank you.